Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, October 11th. We'll be concluding our fire weather broadcast this coming Saturday. Our smoke dispersion forecasts begin next week, typically issued Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Taking a look at fire impacts for today, basically moist ones, showers will be affecting southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin for today. And higher elevations above 7,000 feet, that will mean snow in areas that already do have some snow cover from the recent storm cycle. This should be the tail end of the last precipitation that we'll see in quite some time. No significant impacts tomorrow, and we get into a warming and a drying trend into the weekend and into most of next week as well. Taking a look at latest radar imagery this morning, we can see showers lining up across the Arizona Strip through southern Utah into portions of eastern Utah, another area pushing into part of the Wasatch and eventually into the Uintas. A few scatterings here in eastern Idaho pushing into Wyoming, but this is the basic tail end of our wet 7 to 10 day period. Behind it, we should be in for a significant drying trend. Looking at precipitation over the past 24 hours on the left-hand side, you can see some significant amounts coming out of the Arizona Strip into far southern Utah. The darker shades of blue indicate a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall, otherwise typically a tenth to a quarter of an inch. Also some scattered amounts here across parts of southern and eastern Idaho and into scattered areas of northern Utah. That'll be tapering off and moving to the east. We do have quite a bit of lightning on the right-hand side down south across the Arizona Strip and in far southern Utah. Again, no consequence as fuels are quite moist and there is rainfall with these storms. Current Great Basin fire activity, very few initial starts at this point. The more significant nature is these purple circles, prescribed burning, starting up, especially up here in the higher terrain of Idaho. Observed precipitation over the past 7 days on the left, bountiful precipitation amounts. The yellows and the oranges indicate a 1.5 to 3 inches of rain across the higher terrain of Utah. You can see percent of normal in the purple. That indicates anywhere from 300 to 600% of normal. It's been a very wet 7 to 10 day period, which has produced season-ending conditions across the Great Basin. ERCs all are below the 50th percentile, except for one station which is on its way down, and we'll probably get there shortly as well. This is what a season-ending ERC map typically looks like. Satellite imagery, we are under a deep early winter-like low-pressure trough with storminess here across the eastern portion of the Great Basin, but it'll be exiting out. Tropical system down to our south, no immediate concerns from it. This ridge of high pressure, though, building into British Columbia, will eventually push onshore across the west coast and start bringing us some warmth and dryness as we go into the weekend and into much of next week as well. So here we have it for this afternoon. There's the moisture that's pushing into our eastern areas. Otherwise drier air to the west. There's that high pressure building into the Pacific Northwest. Significant fire potential here on the right. No significant concerns. Afternoon minimum humidity is the lowest we can find here is in the 26% range. Otherwise, everything is up in the 40s, 50s, even 60% for minimum humidity. Winds across northern and eastern Nevada out of the northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour, maybe some isolated higher gusts. Otherwise, more of a northwesterly to northerly component elsewhere, but nothing overly strong. For Friday, moisture moves out. You see more of this tannish shade of drier air coming in, so we should start finally drying out the ground surface, but still the damage has been done for our critical fire concerns. Everything is in the green. Again, minimum humidities cannot find anything below 21%, even in our drier areas of Nevada, otherwise 30% or higher still. Winds fairly light here on the right-hand side. On Saturday, not much change. There's a high pressure building in, northeast flow. That's actually a pretty critical fire weather pattern for parts of northern California, maybe southeast Oregon. You can see here on the outer edge of the 7 day, there's critically dry conditions here in the brown going into the Bay Area and the Sacramento Valley. But for us, we are still all in the green. Winds get stronger tomorrow. Saturday. Out of the north, you can see some gusts here in the purple approaching 35 to 40 miles per hour, but humidity levels for the most part staying above 20% or even above 30% in a lot of these areas. Driest, though, outside of the Reno area and far western Nevada in the teens. 3 day precipitation totals. You can see the heaviest here will probably be in the next 12 hours. This darker green shade, a quarter inch to locally a half inch, otherwise drying out across our western areas. As we go further down the road into Sunday now, high pressure is firmly in control. Warmer and drier, especially across western areas. Wind flow primarily northerly, could be quite gusty across parts of Utah and eastern Nevada and coming out of Idaho. Significant fire potential stays in the green, and the pattern doesn't change much into Monday and Tuesday. High pressure in control. We should see temperatures above normal, plenty of sunshine, maybe some strong valley inversions in the deepest canyons. A lot of the snow in the higher terrain will be melting off, and this should set up some pretty good prescribed burning conditions. We get several days of warming and drying, getting that surface dried out a little bit as we go into Wednesday. Warm and dry, no precipitation in sight. 7-day total precipitation, this is basically identical to the first 3 days. Otherwise, we're pretty much dry. And the 8 to 14-day outlook indicates a continuation of warmer than normal temperatures, drier than normal conditions across most of the Great Basin as we go from October 18th through the 24th. This concludes our briefing. We'll continue with these fire potential briefings Friday and Saturday. We'll be off Sunday. We go into our off-season winter format with more of a smoke dispersion briefing starting Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays through the off-season. Have a great day.